Bottle is very close to being at the end of its life. Sometimes it takes that long to get your full opinion on a bottle. Welcome to Whiskey Catapult, where we catapult around the world trying whiskeys from all over the world. So I've actually already poured this one, so I wanted to give it some time to open up because this one kind of needs it. But this is Woodford Reserve Masters Collection, limited edition series number 18. This is their historic barrel entry release, and it is bottled at 45.2%. And a surprising 700 milliliter bottle too. Usually bourbon 750, but I did get this one stateside at a local Total Wine. I want to say I paid about 160 for it. So as you can see, I've gotten through quite a bit of it. This is on its last legs. There's a good chance that I will finish this bottle off before the end of the day. So I wanted to talk about this one a little bit because I'd seen some of their earlier releases from the Master Series that sounded interesting. Wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that kind of money on it. Wanted to go home and do some research, watch some videos. By the time, a couple days go by, I get some information. Say, okay, sounds like it's pretty good. Go back to the store, sold out. So this was a little closer to the end of the, everyone's buying up bourbon time frame. But it was still one where I was like, hey, heard good things about their Master Series. Let me go ahead and get one. I'm glad I got this one because some of the newer ones have been sitting on shelves. Now, granted, those are a little bit higher price. The Madeira Cask one is the one that I see pretty regularly. Nobody's touching it. So I'm assuming it's either not very good or the price just got too high. But this one wasn't terrible, but was it still worth the money? We'll kind of see. So when I first got this bottle, wasn't a huge fan. I opened it up, pretty excited for it. Didn't really have any expectations outside of it being a better, Woodford Reserve. I like the regular Woodford Reserve release. I like the double oak. Makes a really great old fashioned. And I've had really good stuff from Woodford Reserve, so I figured this would be on par with it. And when I first cracked it, for the price I paid, I was honestly a little disappointed. But over time, it's actually opened up and gotten quite a bit better. But that's why I had it resting in the glass for a little while because it needs a little time to open up, in my opinion, to really kind of shine through and showcase what it has. Very sweet nose. Get a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of brown sugar. Faint oak. And just a little bit of cherry. Kind of a dark cherry. It's quite nice. I hate to use this as an example because I know a lot of people don't like this word, but it's kind of smooth. Not really much burn on it. That sweetness still comes through. A little bit of oak, kind of an older oak note. If you've ever had like older age whiskeys, it kind of has like that. It's been used quite a bit oak, kind of older oak kind of note. Kind of has some of that. Still get some of that nice brown sugar coming in. And just a little bit of vanilla. Not really getting that cherry coming through though that's on the nose. But it's what? Like I said, 45.2% ABV. So this at cast strength, I think, would be a little bit better. But I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. Finish is pretty light. Doesn't linger very long. Still kind of get that brown sugar is kind of the more prominent note that I'm getting. A little bit of oak on the back palate. So it's nice. It does feel like not an older aged bourbon, but it does feel like an older style bourbon, if that makes sense. So this one's called Historic Barrel Entry because previously the ABV that they would use when filling a barrel to be aged was around 100 proof. And over the past, I think it's like 20 something years, they've upped that to, I think the standard now is closer to like the 130, 125 range. So this was kind of going back to, hey, this is how we did it before. I've seen a lot of discussion on which is the better entry proof. It seems like the lower entry proof, you get a little bit more flavor out of it, but you don't quite get the volume because of angel share and loss and things like that. And I could easily see that of why this is 45.2%. This could be cast strength based on, the entry proof of only being 50% ABV. So it's very possible that that is full cast strength and they bottled this right when they felt like it was needed. It doesn't show an age statement, unfortunately, but you know, you understand the process. It kind of makes sense. If I remember right, I believe Michter's does their bourbon at a lower entry proof compared to a lot of the other industry as well. So I could see this lining up to what that profile that Michter's kind of gets from it. But generally, it's just they they think they get more flavor out of it the lower proof. So special release specifically designed for it. Okay, I get a little bit of dustiness on there now. Not a whole lot. It's still very sweet. That vanilla, that cherry is still there. It's just kind of lingering in the background. Mm. Yeah, it's sweet. It's smooth. A little bit of oak. Some of that vanilla coming through. Almost. I kind of lean more towards like a vanilla frosting. And then some of that brown sugar on the backside. Just little pops of oak popping up here and there. Mm. It's good. Add just a little bit of water, see if it opens up just a tad bit more. Good viscosity on it though, especially for 45%. 45.2%. They gave an extra 0.2%, got to call it out. But yeah, for the price I paid for this, I was expecting a little bit more, to be perfectly frank. It is good, it's solid. You might still be able to find this if you're interested. I did look on a couple websites and I do still see it for sale here and there. So I think you might get lucky if you're really interested or if you like collecting these. But if you've never had one, look at reviews first. Hopefully, this one will kind of help with that. But it wasn't to the level that I was kind of expecting it to be. Um, I was kind of more interested, or at this point, I'd be more interested to try their full cast strength offering of the regular either Woodford Reserve or they do have a cast strength version of their double oak now. And I would be very interested in that one. I know they have a special release of the double oak, but that was really expensive. I think it's like 200 plus, if I remember right. And I also see that one on store shelves all the time because I guess a lot of other people think it's too expensive. So yeah, water lightened it up quite a bit. I was worried about that. It's at a low proof already. I wouldn't want to. I was concerned that water might kill it down a little bit too fast. Still get a little bit of brown sugar in there and a little bit of oak, but that cherry note's just gone. So this one might be a little bit too delicate. Mm. See on the note here. Yeah, it says it was bottled in 2022, but doesn't give a when it was filled or distilled. Hmm. Okay. I get more of the oak tannins coming through now with a little bit of water. The sweetness has died down a decent amount, like 30%. Don't really get the vanilla anymore. Still hoping for that cherry to come through, but it's just not. I was hoping water would kind of open it up a little bit and showcase it through. Because that'd really help it out. If that cherry note was coming through, I'd bump this one on the scale. Yeah, it's mostly oaky. There's still a little bit of sweetness to it, a little bit of brown sugar. I'm not really getting the vanilla anymore. Just kind of the oak tannins that are coming through. Hmm, that's a bummer. So, yeah, this one's probably gonna be a pass for me, especially for the price. If this was closer to 80 to 90 bucks, I think it might be closer to worth it in that range. For me personally, not so much. I've shared this with other bourbon drinkers that really liked it. So if you're a little bit more on the bourbon side, you might actually enjoy it. I generally lean more towards Scotch and Irish and different world whiskeys. Bourbons. It's not that I dislike bourbon. It's just lower on my list. I feel like I get more out of the single malt category than I do with bourbons. But the first third of this bottle, I didn't really get too much out of it. It really just tasted like classic Woodford Reserve. And for a Masters Collection or Master Series, no Masters Collection, I had it right. You expect a little bit more. You know, you pay a little bit more, you expect a little bit more. Just kind of be that next level of what Woodford Reserve can do. And first third, very disappointed. As I got down it, that second third, it opened up a little bit more. I could get more flavors through it. I started getting some of the vanillas, some of the brown sugar kind of the nose. I started getting that cherry forward on it. And then this last third is probably been my favorite part of it, which it's a good way to end the bottle on. You know, you don't want it to get worse over time, but it definitely got a little bit better on time. So had I given up this early, I'll be honest, I probably would have tried to like trade it to a friend or maybe just give it to him because it wasn't doing it for me. But it felt weird that it wasn't, and so I was like, let me keep trying it. Let me come back to it. You know, make sure that if I'm just drinking bourbon, I come back to this one. You know, stay in the profile, and it did start to get a little bit better over time, but not quite enough. So when this one dies, I will not be buying another one. I probably won't be getting another one of their Masters collection unless I just see some glowing reviews on some of the other ones. Like I said, the last few that I've seen have just been sitting on shelves, and that's probably not a good sign, unfortunately. So, but hey, I appreciate them trying something out. You know, it's always cool to see distilleries do that, especially big ones like Woodford Reserve. I'll probably still get the occasional bottle of Woodford Double Oak, but as far as the Master Series, I think this one's done one and done for me. Like I said, it's not one that I can recommend for the price. It's neat, but I don't think you get as much out of it as you'd probably hope. So be cautious on these. So if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe to see where we catapult off to next. Cheers.